January 2017, the month when the Oilfields Workers Trade Union almost brought the country to its knees with the threat of a 90-day strike over stalled wage negotiations. It was also the month the murder toll skyrocketed. Pantrinbago was thrown into chaos after checks bounced, the child marriage bill was passed, and Watson Duke entered the Assembly Hall of Tobago. Liren Bramell takes a look back.
A rollover from 2016. The Oilfields Trade Union threatened strike action.
We are going full speed ahead with our preparations to ensure that we have an effective strike come Monday morning.
It forced government to intervene after negotiations could not reach a settlement. Directives were eventually given to Petrotrin.
In order not to unduly burden the national treasury, the company has been directed by the government that it must take firm and immediate steps to reduce its annual operational expenditure in order to meet the increased wage costs of 81 million per year.
Strike averted, the country breathed a sigh of relief. But then, that was short-lived as 52 murders were recorded in the first month. Perhaps the most outrage was vented with the death of 15-year-old Rachel Ramkisoon, killed on the day she overslept in preparation for an examination.
She was a sweet, sweet child. She said she wanted to study and get a good job to take care of her mother because she grew up in poverty. Last Sunday we were going to the beach and we asked her to come in and she was in her books. She said no, because she have exams. She don't want to go to the beach.
Double murders, dumped bodies, decapitated corpses and execution-style killings. A drug lord, Curlin Miceman George and Shamir Ali, ambushed and killed close to the Maracas St. Joseph police station. Bullets fired at lawmen, condemned by the top cop. Fed up of rising crime, Stephen Williams asked 2 officers to retire, Superintendent Simbanath Rajkumar and John Trim. That matter is before the courts. The opposition then threw in the mix, arming citizens, but that was quickly dismissed. Then there was Bacchanal in chutney over the sampling of melodies.
There is no chutney in the chutney. There is no chutney in the chutney. Where the chutney gone?
The Copyright Organization and Chutney Association said no sampling unless permission is given. Bacchanal in Pan. Kitty Asfel Illis checks to Pan men bounced. Government stepped in and put the National Carnival Commission as the overseer of Pantrinbago. The organization was not pleased. Then, talk of a forensic audit for Pantrinbago. Again, that was not well received.
The Cabinet has directed that immediately following Carnival 2017, there is going to be a forensic audit into Pantrinbago, and we expect that the organization will cooperate with the government in this regard.
Acting President Richard Forteau complained that the minister had an acrimonious relationship with them. The body said it was insulted by the implication that they were unable to manage their affairs, but said they were not opposed to an audit. Meanwhile, in Paradise, Tobago that is, they were gearing up for THA elections, the PNM controlling 12-0. On the eve of the election, the bombshell. The election date of January 23rd was invalid. It was within the 21-day limit as nomination day was January 3rd. A mad scramble, 2 days of sitting in the House and Senate to validate the date. By 10:30 p.m. on Monday, January 23rd, the preliminary results were in. PNM 10. 2 to the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Watson Duke and Farley Augustine, were headed to the Assembly Chamber as the minority. Tobago forwards came up with nothing. Probably the most notable of the campaign trail, Christlyn Moore's call for Visine to be put in the water of Trinis, coming to steal the election. Kelvin Charles took over as Chief Secretary. Also in January, the child marriage debate. The bill passed with 5 abstentions. The president of the Islamic Ladies Social and Cultural Association, Chaliza Khan Ali, said her members were disturbed there were no exceptions in the miscellaneous provisions marriage bill. An accusation of sexual misconduct against Dr. Rolf Balgobin at Angostura Holdings Limited, and it raised a hornet's nest. The SWWTU and NATIC would have none of it.
The government must demonstrate to this country that they are serious about morality. We must only talk it, we must demonstrate it.
Under pressure, Dr. Balgobin resigned from Massey Holdings and the Arthur Lockjack Graduate School of Business. but not from Angostura. Also in January, the Juniper platform was launched, and with it, renewed interest in oil and gas.
We are committed to working with the upstream to create a viable and sustainable domestic energy sector for all participants. We will be continuing our engagement with the sector over the coming weeks to create an environment for upstream investments that works in everyone's interest.
And as the month came to an end, the PM issued a statement on crime. He noted, the heinous murders have been nothing short of traumatizing for the entire nation, and the loss of life through violent and unlawful means is wholly unacceptable. The opposition was critical of the statement. A day later, our country is forced to defend itself against statements from MSNBC correspondent Malcolm Nance, questioning why TNT was not included on the U.S. immigration ban on countries who breed terrorist fighters. The PM said Nance's broad and simplistic statement is not supported by fact and ignores the robust and substantial national security cooperative partnership between Trinidad and Tobago and the United States. And to those not much into the politics, a collab, the king of soca and the Viking, Bushead.
Bushead, you know, is really Trini too, you know what I mean? It's a foot forward in a positive light. And it shows that soca can really bring people together and, you know.
You free them, but run for your life. You free them.
I'm Leron Bramwell with your look back at January 2017.
January was also the month FATCA went to the Joint Select Committee. Tough questions were asked of the spending at the President's House. New driver's permits were launched with some debate over the species of the hummingbird. The National Cleanup Campaign was launched. Trinidad and Tobago slipped on the Corruption Perception Index, and the Education Ministry announced it would ban all sugary drinks in schools.